Alright, so these are the basics of supply and demand. So the law of supply and demand is a theory that describes how sellers of a resource interact with buyers of that resource. The idea describes the link between a goods or product's price and people's willingness to buy or sell it. People are often inclined to spend more and demand less when prices rise, and vice versa as prices fall. A good example of this is if I were at the store looking for fruits and vegetables and I see that the price of one is super low. I'm, of course, going to buy a lot of it, increasing the demand. And if I were a farmer and I saw that the price for, let's say, strawberries was really high, I'd grow a lot more and sell a lot more, making more money, increasing the supply. So, according to the law of demand, assuming all other conditions stay stable, the greater the price of an item, the fewer people would desire it. In other words, when prices rise, the amount demanded lowers. Buyers purchase less of an item at a greater price because the opportunity cost of buying that good rises and the price as the price rises. Here's a good example, good graph of the farther right the demand line goes, there's an increase in demand, and the farther left, there will be an decrease. And right in the middle is that equilibrium. And the law of supply, like the law of demand, shows the amount sold at a given price. The supply relationship, unlike the law of demand, has an upward slope. As a result, the higher the price, the greater the amount available. From the seller's point of view, the opportunity cost of each extra unit tends to rise. The higher selling price justifies the greater opportunity cost of each extra unit sold. Thus, producers provide more at a higher price. Here's another good graph showing the farther right, there would be an increase in supply, and the farther left, there would be a decrease, and right in the middle is that equilibrium. So, supply and demand curves. The supply of an item brought to market is fixed at any particular moment. In other words, because of the rule of diminishing marginal utility, the supply curve in this situation is a vertical line, but the demand curve is always downward sloping. Sellers are only allowed to charge what the market will bear at the time, depending on customer demand. Suppliers, on the other hand, can raise or reduce the quantity they offer to the market over longer periods of time based on the price they intend to charge. As a result, the supply curve slopes over time, and the higher price providers expect to get, the more they will create and bring to the market. And here's just a normal supply and demand curve showing right in the middle is that equilibrium, that sweet spot. And here are my sources.